I want to talk a little bit more about what's going on in the race for the White House. Donald Trump, his strategy, now that he has topped the delegate threshold for the presidential nomination. Joining us is Sean Spicer. He's the chief strategist, the communications director for the Republican National Committee. He's joining us from RNC headquarters here in Washington. Sean, thanks very much for joining us.
You bet. Good afternoon, Wolf.
You think that this is just the beginning? Wherever Donald Trump, the Republican nominee for all practical purposes, has a rally, speaks, there are going to be protesters outside. Are we going to see a lot more of this?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I think you've got sort of this professional left that is going out there trying to disrupt people. I think, frankly, what I saw the other night, what you see a little today, is somewhat disgusting. Everybody in America has got the right to express themselves and assemble according to our First Amendment. But when people on the left are destroying public property and attacking public officials and police officers, I think that's outrageous. I think the left should condemn that. I think the silence from Hillary Clinton and Debbie Wasserman Schultz speaks volumes about the double standard that they have when it comes to this kind of protests. And I think that we should all kind of condemn violence. Peaceful assembly, expressing your right to assemble and your opinion is what this country is built on. But causing violence, destroying public property, that's crossing a line.
I know the Republican National Committee, you, Reince Priebus, the chairman, you want to unify the party right now behind Donald Trump. Are you disappointed that the House Speaker, Paul Ryan, is still not on board?
Not at all. Speaker Ryan and their respective teams have been talking off and on. I think it's going in a great direction. I think that's what they said from the get-go. This wasn't going to be some faux announcement. I think Speaker Ryan is committed to the solutions and the policies that make the Republican Party the better party, that allow this country to move forward. And he wants to work with the Trump team and Donald Trump himself to make sure that they're on board with an agenda that's going to be vastly different than the left-wing establishment, same old that Hillary Clinton offers. So it's going to happen. I feel very good about it. I think we saw Marco Rubio yesterday speaking with your own Jake Tapper, really talking about how he's willing to go out there for the team. You're seeing our team unify, and I think that despite all of the media concern for the Republican Party, it's all coming around. The polls show it, not just in terms of the Republican unity, but the head-to-head matchup. The trajectory is positive and upward for Donald Trump and downward for Hillary Clinton. But conversely, Wolf, and I think the big thing is that what you're seeing on the left is a huge split on policy. Bernie Sanders is making it very clear that unless the party moves far to the extreme socialist left, they aren't going to unify. He is prepared to go to Philadelphia with a set of far-left ideas, whether it's on foreign policy or domestic, that are dividing that party big time. And as a result, a large amount of Bernie Sanders voters will not vote for Hillary Clinton. In fact, they're saying that they'll support Donald Trump. And then you take it further, and you've seen all of these calls for the chair of the Democratic National Committee to step down, and Bernie Sanders going out there and actively supporting her primary opponent, which is something that's unheard of in politics.
You know, what also is pretty unusual, Sean, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, that the 2012 Republican presidential nominee, Mitt Romney, is by far not on board as far as Donald Trump is concerned. In fact, in an interview just posted in the Wall Street Journal, Romney said this. He said, "I wanted my grandkids to see that I simply couldn't ignore what Mr. Trump was saying and doing, which revealed a character and temperament unfit for the leader of the free world." He said he wouldn't vote for Trump, wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton. "Hopefully I will find a name," he said, "I can support. If not, I will write in a name." That must be pretty disappointing to you.
Well, to some degree it is. I have a lot of respect for Governor Romney. He was a very good governor in Massachusetts. He's been a great supporter of our party. He did a great job and represented this country well at the Olympics. But I think that Governor Romney has to respect the fact that Donald Trump bested 16 other candidates. He got the most votes ever. And just as people coalesced around Governor Romney at the end, moderates, conservatives, pro-life people, pro-choice people in our party, they understood that the only way to victory was a united party, and they coalesced around Mitt Romney. We need to do the same now around Donald Trump, that all of the conservative folks that might have supported another candidate need to understand that the only way that we will win and keep Hillary Clinton out of the White House is to unify as a party. The thing is, though, and what I think Governor Romney and others need to understand is that by not supporting our nominee, the person that the most voters and activists chose, is that you are helping Hillary Clinton not just get 4 years in the White House, add additional spending, issue executive orders, and pass left-wing socialist-type, but she will appoint people to the federal judiciary, whether it's the Circuit Court of Appeals or the Supreme Court, that truly can change the trajectory of this country for a generation and beyond. And that is a very, very dangerous thing.
You mentioned Marco Rubio's interview that's going to air Sunday on State of the Union with Jake Tapper. Donald Trump overnight posted this tweet. He said, poll data shows that Marco Rubio does by far the best in holding on to a Senate seat in Florida. Important to keep the majority. Run, Marco. You agree? You want Marco Rubio to decide the next few days to run once again for re-election?
I think Senator Rubio has done a great job for the state of Florida and for a lot of people who have been excited about his involvement in politics since he was Speaker of the House down in Florida. It's ultimately going to be up to him to decide. I think, we respect his decision as it stands, but ultimately that's his decision.
One final question. You want a debate to take place before the June 7th California primary between your presidential nominee, Donald Trump, and Senator Bernie Sanders?
Well, it's up to both of them, but I'll tell you that would be must-see TV. I'll tell you that. It would really draw a contrast both in terms of process and policy. The idea that Hillary Clinton, who talked about debating anytime, anywhere, apparently won't debate Bernie Sanders as she promised. So it's amazing that this could possibly take place. I think it would be great on the policy side because you'd have Donald Trump reaching out to more Americans, talking about the solutions that he has to move this country forward, and Bernie Sanders promising like more Ben and Jerry's or something, because it's a huge shift in the socialist left-wing agenda that Sanders has both in terms of foreign policy and domestic policy, and it could not contrast the parties greater to see these two individuals on stage. I think we would love it. Ultimately, it will be up to them to decide whether that happens.
I'll take that as a firm yes from Sean Spicer. Sean Spicer, thanks very much for joining us.
Have a great Memorial Day. Thank you very much.